Due to the important nature of this topic, this final video in our child safety series will be a review of the important points parents need to know in order to have effective, research-based conversations with your children that will keep them safe and secure. Now, the first thing you need to know is to have these conversations in a calm way. Frightening your children, or any time we get frightened, it inhibits our ability to remember important things that we need to. So, Dr. David Pelkowitz, experts in the field, say that if you think of anxiety level from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, 2 to 3 is about right. Like you would tell them not to cross a busy street. So it's dangerous, it's something important, but not something that will really frighten them. Now, the 4 child safety messages are no secrets from parents, your body belongs to you, good touching, bad touching, and no one has the right to make you feel uncomfortable. And let's go through them. So, no secrets from parents. You're basically telling your children that no one ever has the right to tell them that they should keep something from you. There is no one, no school principal, mentor, family member, nobody should ever tell them that something is a secret from you. It's a huge red flag. And even though it might be innocent, we teach the children that immediately they should come to you and discuss this with you. Your body belongs to you is you're teaching them the notion of personal space. Now, we know that children understand this concept at a very young age. Think of how old they have to be to understand that their blanket belongs to them or their toys. What we want to teach them is that they belong to them. And parents can reinforce this even with very young children by giving children their own drawer, telling children to knock when they go from, into a room where someone might be getting dressed. And all of that helps the children understand this concept. In fact, the research shows that just one of those things, for example, a child having their own drawer at home, makes them more likely to exhibit defensive behavior if someone tries to invade their space. Good touching, bad touching. A nice way to say it is to tell children that any spot covered by a bathing suit, no one should ever touch. And it's important to list the exceptions, especially with young children who need adults to care for them if they soil themselves, to bathe them. So to list those exceptions very, very precisely and never say things like, no one's allowed to touch you in a spot covered by a bathing suit except people in our family, because we know that unfortunately family members could be abusers. So make it very tight. A doctor when mommy or daddy are in the office with you, grandma, Bubby when we're away and she's babysitting, very carefully and very succinctly. Now, no one has the right to make you feel uncomfortable. The final rule is sort of a big idea, and you're teaching your children to trust their instincts. The reason that this is so important is that we're training them that if they feel uncomfortable, they have a right to leave, no matter who that person is, and that here's the important part, and that you as a parent will support their right to do this. And the reason this is so important is because we know that abusers go through a grooming process where they gradually encroach on the children's space. And usually the research shows that children feel uncomfortable way before any abuse takes place, but they often don't have that language to articulate that to you. He had his hand on my shoulder. They might not have the language to say, well, he had his hand there a very long time, or I didn't like the way he was looking at me. So teach them that if they feel uncomfortable at any time, they have a right to get out, come to you, and again, then you will support their right to their space. Get your children used to the notion of sharing things with you. Talk to them when they come home from school, when you come home from work. Tell them that they can discuss anything with you, even if things are uncomfortable. It's still something that we want to know. See to it that your children are supervised and have this situational awareness to understand where they're going and who's picking them up, who's in charge. Do the people share your values? It's not only these points. These points are the beginning. It's the beginning of a conversation. It's the beginning of a mindset. And it's the beginning of a type of awareness that will help your children be able to protect themselves as you protect them in all different ways.